Welcome to We Are Live.
We're live, Chris Denman and Travis Terrell, live from the Mid-Coast Studios. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Don't mind my sound on my computer as we rock things out. Happy Monday. It's freezing cold here in St. Louis. We had a great weekend at Mardi Gras with the great people at 1860s. Big thanks to Getaway Golf Carts. All of our great sponsors, Cruise and Rum, Bud Light made that happen, and the great Tommy Bannister of Circa Properties. Like I said, my name is Chris Denman. That is Travis Terrell.
Hello.
We're joined in studio by the great Chris Gardner on the Possum Cam. Good morning, Gardsy.
And get you. There he is. Somebody turn on the spotlight.
So you're just going to pretend like the Hawk didn't show up today?
What?
You're just going to grab that effing mic and scat and think everything's okay.
Beep bop boop a doop a doop. Happy Monday, yeah.
It kind of works.
Nice.
Yeah, I think people were clamoring for some jokes and stuff, so we give the people what they want. Travis, how are you feeling this morning, buddy?
Good morrow and good morning.
And I didn't say good morning. I apologize.
That's all right, but
Good morning, gentlemen. And good morning to all my walnuts.
Oh no, that's a thing. That's a thing. Wow.
If you're downloading the podcast on iTunes or wherever you get it, after you subscribe and review, you can go back and check the Facebook Live video. Gardner just did a perfect look into the camera, like he was looking into your soul, Travis.
I don't.
And
I don't care for
walnuts. They knew. So if you listen to the show, listener Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer has suggested you all be called walnuts, WAL nuts.
I'm down.
I mean, it does take a bit of insanity to enjoy what this program is and what has become. So I'm behind it. Do you not appreciate it, Travis?
That kind of makes sense now, considering that it is probably the most obscure, unnecessary nut. Also incredibly hard to eat, digest. So
It requires a tool.
Yes, it requires a tool, and it's incredibly complicated for no reason at all. Welcome to We Are Live. Walnuts.
What's your favorite nut, Travis?
I have to say I love almonds. Almonds are very good.
Now,
I like
when
also
you
the pecans.
when
The
you-
pecans
I like,
are nice.
now, are you talking raw? Trader Joe's $11 a bag almonds with they haven't been boiled. There's no oil involved.
No, I'm talking about my boy Turner on the corner of Broadway and 4th Avenue,
Okay.
who likes to sell a bunch of almonds
Puts
out of someone else's truck.
Yeah, like rolls them in corn syrup.
Yes.
Dumps a bag of brown sugar in, and it's like,
Hey,
hey, it's
man.
healthy.
It's brown nuts. So I'm like, all right, thanks, Luther.
I'll get them sometimes. And are these salted? No. You psycho.
That is true. Like almonds always seem like it because you imagine the sea salt, the roasted, whatever, and if you get a hold of a handful of, we'll just say raw organic almonds, it is a boring eat. I see why those squirrels are always chasing each other around. I'd be bored if I was just eating no candied nuts all day long.
Ain't no nuts, though, like street nuts. Get you some street nuts.
Do you clip things off still? Because I think that could be clipped off.
Street nuts, you just got a vendor. He's generally a man between the ages of 47 and 56. And he's like, hey, man, got some walnuts in the back of my truck. It's not even his truck.
Whose truck is it?
Someone else's truck. Someone left it, parked it, went into a store.
Yeah.
He found a way to pick the lock, and now he's in the trunk of someone else's car selling walnuts.
So
Those are
he's
the best
selling
nuts.
Walnuts out of the trunk of someone else.
Yeah, that's
Someone else's car.
called street nuts
Street nuts. And why do they taste better?
because they're illegal.
Because they're hot?
Very. You ain't had no nuts like street nuts. Put them in your mouth.
How was your weekend? I was with you all day Saturday.
You were.
Let's break that down. And also, you know what? We need to tell you guys about, before we get into this. Fair or foul, my friends, today we give out a prize each and every day
We
for
do.
your enjoyment. Today's prize, $10 to New York Tom's Food Truck.
delish.
Shout out to him, one of the better characters in the food truck scene. Fair or foul, if I may, Imagine Dragons is the new Nickelback. There's been a lot of controversy. We have one of the owners here at Midcoast Media, John Beebe,
Yes.
vehemently supports Imagine Dragons. I support him for his choices to do so in such a great country as America. where we reside, where this show is recorded, filmed, everything. But there has been a push lately. People are, I think you hit that peak and you're everywhere. You're on sporting events, you're at the Oscars, whatever it is. People, they resent you a little bit.
The gift and curse of going prime time.
Quadruple
for
Jillion
artists.
platinum.
You absolutely sell a ton of records. You sell a ton of tickets, but you become incredibly annoying to the mass population.
See, like, does that happen in hip hop? I'm thinking it happened to Nelly a little bit. People are like, man, he's blah, blah, blah. He's
Well, yeah, when your songs end up in like promos to sporting events or
whenever
sporting
it gets
games,
to, whenever you're in like a song is either parodied or in an ad for like Tide, also, but you still, and it's not that you're not saying you're Kenny G. You're saying you're still trying to act like you have some cool like pizzazz or hipness to you, but it's like, dude, I heard that in an ad for Tide.
It was Fits and the Tantrums for a while.
Oh boy, they were an
like
indie band.
Every MLB playoff,
Yeah.
like on TNT, every MLB playoff game on TNT had a Fits and the Tantrum song.
And the MLB,
Then they had what-
MLB Network uses them quite a bit.
And they
too.
had like one every year.
Yeah.
Like let's put a new song out. It's almost postseason baseball time.
Right.
well, I think
Probably
now,
get it out there. And now that's become Imagine Dragons.
Yes.
The reason we wanted to go with it today was I saw a headline at consequenceofsound.net. Imagine Dragons, our greatest fear is a kid getting made fun of for listening to our music. And that story started with, as they've grown in popularity over the years, Imagine Dragons have so too drawn more and more criticism from music fans and fellow musicians alike.
Right.
Recently, the simmering backlash has hit a major boiling point, with many comparing the band to Nickelback. Earlier this month, Slipknot frontman Corey Taylor
Oh boy!
even went so
because
far
we were all asking his opinion.
That's very true.
as to
Where's
insist.
Slipknot in this
Yeah.
conversation?
Actually, you know what?
Somebody
Actually,
bring in Slipknot.
the guy from the band who dress up like the Whisperers from Walking Dead, where they put zombie faces on for their skin. Actually,
Metallica.
you will make me. You endorsing hate towards a band actually will make me support the band.
See, now that doesn't
Like,
make any
remember
sense.
whenever you did that song for Spider-Man, dude? Like, you're in a band called Slipknot and you wear scary masks, but you had like a ballad that made you a lot of money from the Spider-Man. Not the new Spider-Man, not the cool hip Miles Morales.
talking about
talking Tobey Maguire.
early 2000s.
What was that song?
Hero to shave
No,
us,
that was
not
Nickelback,
going-
wasn't it?
Oh, that was Nickelback again?
Yeah.
Well,
Good
the
for
front
them.
man to Slipknot, Corey Taylor, said Nickelback,
We stay up to date on Corey Taylor news around here.
are passing the baton to Imagine Dragons, and I love it.
Nice.
And then they went on, I won't get into the statement from Imagine Dragons. I will say I kind of agree with some of what they said, and they're not too terrible.
I don't think they're bad people. In fact, I've heard them interviewed several times. They're incredibly nice guys who truly like giving back to the community.
What's the other one I started to not like that was way bigger than what I thought they were?
It was probably Evanescence.
Oh, it's time.
No, I feel like we make fun of. Okay, so we do make fun of our friend John because he does seriously and genuinely like Imagine Dragons. That's the
That's
thing.
because he likes Imagine Dragons and like shits on Radiohead and Oasis.
Right.
So maybe he's
and so
not-
he does that thing. Right.
I was going to give him a pass because he met them before they were big, and he has a bit of a friendship attachment to it.
That's fair, but it's still at the end of the day Imagine Dragons, and to no fault of their own. Well, I guess to a degree.
I think it's
'cause
all
I'm-
their name. Game of Thrones is big right now. I think it's just happenstance.
I think it's truly the college
And-
football commercials that are absolutely associated to every Imagine Dragons song. And unfortunately for Imagine Dragons, CBS and ESPN run a ton of advertising for college football, no matter what station you're watching.
well, you say
So
unfortunately as they build their seventh.
Right, now
mansion
for
with
them,
that.
yeah, they're fine. They
And
don't
you know
give
what?
a rat's
That-
ass what you folks think of them because they are just hand over fist the most profitable band in the world right now.
There are two things here. Number one, with Imagine
It's
Dragons,
getting a really serious breakdown.
They
from us.
kind
I just
of-
want to call that out.
they get a look from me of disapproval, not because of them.
Okay,
Part of it is because of Benjamin Hockman,
that's fair.
the St. Louis Post-Dispatch sports columnist,
He loves them.
because I fell for a joke once involving Imagine Dragons.
Oh, no.
He called me up vaguely describing a song of theirs. Hey, do you remember who sings this? And I wasn't really, normally I would be in a mindset to where I know it's Benjamin Hockman. I shouldn't fall for any joke from him, or I would pick up on what's going on. But I think I was distracted at the time, so I stepped outside, smoked a cigarette. I'm like, "What are you asking me?" And I go, "Oh, it's Imagine Dragons." And then on the other end, I hear, "Imagine dragging these nuts across your face."
Oh, no.
And I'm like, God damn it, I fell for that. Like, it should have been easy to pick up on.
did.
So,
Ooh,
when I
gosh.
think of Imagine Dragons now, I think of when Benjamin got me with a D's nuts joke. And also, I wonder if we go back and do a study. This should be commissioned. A commissioned study, probably by Congress.
Okay.
How bands have fared, their perspective on bands after they've been the theme song for the year for a college football game day.
Right.
Because remember, they had Big and Rich the one.
We are coming
Yeah.
to your city.
They had that one. Then you have Imagine Dragons. Like, how do, before and after, how are bands or groups viewed after being the theme song for a college football game
I
day?
think that happened to poor Aloe Black. Remember, Aloe Black was being played for
There's
3
another good
consecutive
example.
years. During the NFC and AFC championship games, Aloe Black was the man.
How's
Now,
that
Aloe
song
Black,
go?
I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. And so that went on for at least 2 full
you, Chris.
postseasons. And I have to say, I think Aloe Black is an incredibly talented individual. I think the worst thing that happened to his career was allowing his brand, allowing his songs to be played
Now,
constantly during the
I think
championship games during
it
the playoffs.
seems to be maybe selling your soul to the devil type
It feels like
contract here. Like, you're going to make money.
They're gonna make a ton of money.
Here's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. But you will not be liked.
I'm the man. I'm the man. And
To
he
what
seemed
degree?
like a very
It'll be-
nice African American
Right.
singer, and we couldn't rally up behind him because every time we looked up, it was
speaking for
I'm
an
the man.
entire
I'm the
race of
man.
people
I'm the
here.
man. Well, that's what happens when
Yeah.
you become a successful black anything. But that's what happened to Aloe Black. Poor guy, great voice, but he just starts singing. Now he starts singing the Eminem jingles. Mr. Candyman can like, oh, Aloe Black, you've turned into
That's
the black
Sammy
Mr.
Davis
Peanut
Jr. right there.
Well, yeah.
When I hear Candyman, I think of Sammy Davis
So
Jr.
maybe that was the route he was going. Maybe the community wasn't ready for Sammy Davis renewed. But that's what happens when these guys sell out to these big corporations.
Well, here's the thing too. What if you're a band like Fall Out Boy that I
They're
made
in
fun
that
of?
category, yes.
I made fun of for a really long time because I'm like, these guys aren't Blink-182. They just wish they were, or whatever that was. Blink-182 is super commercial, pop punk, whatever. And then Fall Out Boy, apparently, I don't keep up with them, but they get included in about every other year, right? It's almost like they have a formula. They go, hey, we're going to release this. It's going to get put
Yeah,
on.
I think that's
all
why-
this stuff. But they still maintain some kind of a, like, oh, it's like, well, it's Fall Out Boy. That's what you expect. Like, there's weird angles that people take to that, right? Like, Snoop Dogg, we've all established, can literally do anything and lose
Yes.
no cred.
Right,
Right?
correct.
Like, he's
earned so much
endorsing
street cred.
Snuggies that have
yeah, it would take
weed
a lot.
emblems
It
on
would
them.
take
Like,
a
come
lot
on.
for Snoop to absolutely lose street cred at this point in his life.
MAGA hat in an appearance with Donald Trump. Would that put Snoop on your list of I'm
That
done?
would that would do it.
Yeah,
that would quickly do it. That would probably absolutely just ruin 35 years of street cred if he did just that.
Yeah, it's like, man, this totally gets rid of you probably murdering someone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That whole West Coast rap
How
thing
about
is
that?
absolutely obliterated.
How
if he
about
does
that? The MTV Awards. Snoop is this ominous, scary figure, and he comes out to the MTV Awards and I'm innocent. And it's like, man, he's a cold-blooded killer. And then now he's, Willie Nelson.
He is. He's the Black Willie Nelson now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing with Imagine Dragons now is that it feels like you just said they're trying
Mm-hmm.
with the anthem song, so they're hoping that it goes into a Tide commercial or it ends up on a cereal commercial with Lucky Charms. I feel like now they're aiming for that demographic, and that's fine because I would imagine on the third mansion they are like, well, to hell with these idiots on the internet. We getting these papers, baby. So I can't blame these artists for doing it, but they also have to understand that the blowback is going to be, you're annoying as hell, and we're just going to hate you for all the unnatural reasons.
How about this? On
Wait. Did you say unnatural?
It's not natural for us to hate Imagine Dragons. We have to.
Natural is a
These-
song of theirs.
I know.
You're
That's
just
what it
running
is. Now
into
I'm just
these
having a
things.
little bit.
How's
of
it
fun.
go? How's it go?
You're a natural. Give every natural. Give every people to. Imagine Dragon. The natural. You gotta go college football natural.
Pretty good.
Pretty damn close, I have to admit myself. You know what? Singing that made me feel good, so maybe that's why they make those
They're
songs. That's a
Yeah,
feel-good song
You're
to sing out loud.
You're gonna sing yourself into some fandom.
I hope so. 'Cause you're a natural.
I don't like what your face does when you sing.
I don't like how it makes me feel inside when I sing it.
Happy?
But
Triangle Assassin likes Imagine Dragons on the Facebook comment stream, but he's a basic B.
That sounds about right.
Self-admitted.
I also have a story later.
Is this a tease?
This is
Deep
a tease.
tease?
It's a deep tease. We can get into what we did this weekend. Well,
So,
it's actually
so
part of my
email,
weekend.
email us for Fairfowl, WAL at weareliveradio.com. $10 to New York Tom's food truck is your prize. We also have a melee on Twitter. Please, after you.
We
I
meleeing
put
it
one
up
out today.
and
Yeah.
melee it out. What is today's poll, Garzi?
Well, after the snowstorm yesterday, yet another one. I ask, when preparing for a snowstorm, is it more important to buy bread, eggs, milk, or kale ahead of time? Your options: bread, eggs, milk, kale.
Another brutal winter here in the city of St. Louis. We had above average weather on Saturday for Mardi Gras, but very early mornings of Sunday in St. Louis brought about 2 to 4 inches of snow. And this morning, as we broadcast live from the Midcoast Media Studios, it is a whopping 4 degrees.
-1 in Chicago. Why are you complaining?
And they got the real hawk. So we got the baby hawk here. We got the hawk that like stays in one of the nice municipalities with the white and Asian folks. That's the kind of sensible.
Asian
That's the
folks.
sensible hawk.
What do you
But
think
you
about-
don't want the Jesse Smollett Chicago hawk. You don't want that kind of hawk in your life.
What do you think about St. Louis's Chinatown?
I love it.
What are the restaurants there called?
They are called Chinese Establishment 1. There's another one called Chinese Establishment 2.
Wait.
And there is a lovely grocery shop.
What about if it's on the
Amazing
corner?
seafood.
Who do you go see?
I go see one of the fine residents who have a
You go
business.
get yourself a St. Paul sandwich, get yourself a Vest soda
I
with
would.
it,
I would.
and then whatever, we'll say some crab rangoons maybe to start you off. Who do you go see to get that?
I go see, I would imagine, a South Asian resident of the city of St. Louis who do such a great job at preparing that Chinese food.
Wonderful
That's
part of
what
our
we
community.
That's what we refer to it as in this city, as Chinese food.
What
Very
if they're
delicious.
What if they're positioned on the north end of the city? You're with your uncle, and he says, "Travis, can you go to and grab me a St. Paul
I would
sandwich?"
say, can you go to the shop where they prepare the fine brown rice?
I tried, everybody.
So I don't know what you
taking the
guys
bait.
are referring to. I enjoy all of my neighbors here in the city of St. Louis. They are one of them, and they make amazing food.
They definitely do. Travis, you're being called out in the comments that
boy.
you would call it something else. Actually,
I don't know what you folks are.
you know,
referring
for
to.
all the complaining that you folks do, you've hit the Asians on the head with a nomenclature over the years.
I will say this, and it's been called out at recent comedy shows, even by St. Louis comedians. We recognize as a community
Here he is
African
speaking for an
Americans
entire race.
have perhaps in St. Louis used a term that
What's
is
the
not
term?
at all appropriate for describing a Chinese establishment.
I like that it has multi-use. You can go see him, you go to him, you stop by it, you pick it up from it.
I think that the language we have used in the past have been harmful and have not led to stronger relations with
Somebody
the
went
black
to the
and Asian
somebody went
communities.
to the Maxine Waters School of explaining things over here.
Not
Did
at
you
all.
see
I
this?
think simply what happened was that as a community, we
You're still
got-
acting weird, man.
Yeah,
the community was immersed in a culture of division, immersed in a culture of misunderstanding. And I think now that we have come together and we recognize some of the struggles that one has to endure in order to survive, especially here in St. Louis, we are now one with our Asian brothers and sisters. And we recognize that the language we have used in the past was absolutely harmful, hurtful, and I would like to apologize.
For what?
There have been some African Americans in this city that say Chinaman.
What?
That is absolutely inappropriate. That is wrong. And as one of the leaders of this generation, I plan on making sure every African American in St. Louis understands that that's wrong, and they refer to it as nice South Asian restaurant.
Why is it South Asian? Because if it's somebody from China, they could actually be from like damn near Russia, or if maybe they're even from an eastern part of a gigantic.
What if you have Japanese food?
I feel like
I was going to say that was kind
I
of.
feel like
Soul
I've-
Taco was probably even like thrown in there.
that's
with some
why I
of this.
feel like I cover the gambit with South Asian. Also, there was
But what if you're North Asian? Wouldn't you take offense to that? Be like, why
Are
would
you
you
just
think
gonna
I'm
say,
South Asian?
Restaurants in the Ring of Fire.
I wouldn't go that way. I may say Pacific Rim. Is that appropriate? I think it is. It's not the other word. So yes, we are finding ways to appropriately communicate with our
Pacific
other business owners of color.
Are they of color?
Yes, they are
Okay.
minorities. It's generally how it works.
So,
About 1 billion people on the other continent that would say different.
yeah, you're still acting weird. I
Yeah.
don't know what's
Guys,
going on.
I don't
We'll suss this
understand.
out.
I'm sorry that our
are you
show is
wearing?
maturing. Right now, I have on just normal sneakers. And
Yeah, let me see your
jeans
shoes.
And, just sneakers, jeans, and
Are your jeans cuffed?
and a thermal.
Are your
today.
jeans cuffed?
They are because it's snow outside, man.
What kind of shoes do you have on?
I have on sneakers.
Let me see them. Show them to
Hey,
me.
look, they're sneaks, man. They're sneaking it up and sneaking it out.
Those
Were
are
you
nice.
hoping he had on house shoes?
I was hoping.
He was
No, I was hoping he had on something nice, and he does have on nice sneakers.
Okay.
So I'm just here to make sure we keep a steady ship flowing, because here at We Are Live, we are about unity.
If you missed last week, just a quick reminder, we have a clip up on Twitter of Jay Farrow when he was on the show. Two great interviews, Michael Yo and Jay Farrow. If you haven't yet, go back, listen to those. We're very proud of those, and share them with a friend. We headlined Mardi Gras this weekend. We were the main
Did we
attraction.
headline?
We were the main attraction at
Interesting.
Mardi Gras, yeah.
I imagine there were
1860
two other
Saloon.
things that were main attractions.
1860
I'm
Saloon.
talking about boobs.
Had us there.
Hey.
And Jeff Jones made an appearance, as
Jeff
you can see on
Jones
the live
on his
stream.
14th hurricane at 8:45 in the morning.
Let me give Jeff some credit, by the way. He walked around with the billboard, the sandwich board that said, soup and sandwich board, if it's Jeff, that said free hugs. He gave us some promo with
Nothing
the
like
sticker
wearing a
on
sandwich
there.
board with free hugs in the Me Too era. Way to go, Jeff.
He seemed to be a big hit with everybody.
Had a
down there.
dashiki on too.
I was going to say, for somebody who's like, this is my day to turn up, he was very behaved.
He turned up though. But again, it's very hard to take it to the max when it's 36 degrees out. But I thought everyone down in St. Louis did an amazing job nonetheless. It was an incredibly crowded Mardi Gras in St. Louis. It was a lot of fun though. We had the great tent over at 1860 Saloon. We had an outstanding turnout. The music was amazing. The food was amazing.
You know, it was a big hit. The hashtag Marty AF bags.
They
from
were
By
huge
Jack.
hits.
This is a little peek into the apparel game. Everybody, I was
Right.
laughing about this. So we made a limited amount. People they sold out with the promo code that we set up online beforehand. And of course, you get there and there's hundreds of people cycling in and out. I had people acting like it was like I had some kind of a upgraded cocaine that they hadn't seen before. They're trying to slip me cash. I'm like, I would love to charge you for this bag. Unfortunately, I'm not going to deal with Karen when she shows up after she used a promo code and she's here
Right.
for her bag.
That was really awesome that people were very excited about the bags. They were exclusive bags where we used the promo we've been promoting for the last month.
If we
thing
would have
that
made
happened
300,
was-
nobody would have cared.
Well, that's the thing about, and you mentioned the merchandise
How it
game, and we
goes.
were talking about it in the moment. And again, Chris, we wanted to make sure that those who had actually reserved those bags got their bags. But when you're in the merchandise game, there's always this fear of, okay, if we do decide to make this available for the entire public, we have to make mass amounts of them. That's the thing, though, when you're inside of an exclusive tent, you're not absolutely sure how many people are
Right.
going to take the time to purchase it. It cost you money. It was an exclusive bag for that event specifically.
Boy, people were wearing them like they were cool.
But they were pretty
kids.
dope. You can see them out in the crowd.
Yeah.
When you saw them in the sea of people, you actually saw the Marty AF bags, and we appreciate those who were excited about it. Because of your excitement around those bags,
Maybe we'll
Let's
see a
just
new
say,
version
we'll,
of that.
we'll
yeah.
see if we can do something.
And if you need
for
stuff
an
printed-
upcoming major drinking
Yeah.
holiday in the city of St. Louis, if you know what I mean. Top of
right.
the morning to you.
So,
Talking about the Irish drunks. That's what I'm talking about.
any takeaways you had, Travis? We played a fun game with the crowd. We did best dressed. People got into that. Silky Soul, the Red Afro Queen, kept us rocking all day
Great
long.
band,
We were
great live
sober.
music.
We didn't really drink at all. And my favorite was popping out. There was I didn't have a drop, so I popped out, and the guy working the door for 1860s, one of the guys, super nice dude, for sure resembled Marshawn Lynch. Had the same hair, had a grill that looked like
Got
Marshawn
the Oakland
Lynch,
Raiders
and
stub
an
cap
Oakland
on.
Raiders sock cap. So a part of me, he's like, yeah, I just happen to be a Raiders fan, and I was like, well, then you're better than me, because I watched 30 drunk white dudes be like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. And he just laughed and rolled off. So does he enjoy being compared to Marshawn Lynch, or is it just, it is what it is?
I think it's.
I
better-
think there's a little.
I think it's better than being compared to Jane Lynch. So
Great
I think,
point.
comparatively
Great point.
speaking.
Would a girl be upset if I was like, you remind me of a celebrity? She's like, oh gosh, who? Jane Lynch. Like, oh, from the 70s? No, now.
No, present, right now. No, I thought he was a very good sport, especially when I walked in. I walked past the gentleman, and he, doing his job, immediately stopped me.
Oh, this is great. When we
And
first got there.
When we first
got-
arrived, we're there at the tent. We're ready to go in. Chris has the
Can I tell my
banner
side?
and box. Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm walking in front. Travis, so Travis is like, when we get to the barriers, they don't let you bring in backpacks or anything. And I see it's a couple of people that are probably not super into their job, making sure people don't bring backpacks in. So I just walked by confidently and
Yes.
didn't care. So we're in, and he was like, Travis was like, oh, nobody said anything to Chris about he's wearing a backpack and carrying a box that could have contained God knows anything.
Yes.
And kept moving forward. We get down to the tent. The security people didn't know me, but I just kind of kept the same confidence, and I have a blazer on, so that means I can kind of walk anywhere I want.
Basically how it works.
Blazer and jeans in St. Louis.
Oh
means
my
you
God, it
are
must be a
part of a
class that
startup
needs
or
a
something
substitute
cool.
teacher. Let him
exactly.
through.
So I just walked into the private tent, and they just go, oh, right this way, sir. Come on in.
My black
Travis,
eyes, minding my damn business. I look like I belong somewhere. I'm dressed like a rap mogul. So people, you have to think, oh, he's got to be somebody. He's got to be performing
This is my favorite
somewhere.
thing ever. Oh my
So
gosh.
I walked through the tent. I'm about 5 feet down through the tent, past security. But they could not just let a random Negro, of course, walk right past them. Someone has to say something.
Black security guard.
Yes, but his white boss, hey, tap that brother on the shoulder. See what his story is.
To be fair, you were not confident in your walkthrough.
I
Maybe.
thought it was pretty much understood, considering outside the tent was a 20-foot banner with my face on it. The largest banner that can possibly be made for a large event such as Mardi Gras.
Very clear facial recognition.
Very
too.
clear.
Yeah.
Right outside the entrance.
It's my and by the way,
Hosted by We Are Live. The biggest picture on the left side of the banner is a very
me
large
looking,
Negro.
I'm 5 feet into the tent holding it. I know exactly what's going
It's
on.
literally my ID. My actual ID is on the outside of the tent I am walking into. And the white man tells the brother that
Oh,
looks
no,
like
no, no,
Marshawn
no.
Lynch
No,
to
no, no,
stop
no.
me because he wonders if I belong there. I simply then walked outside.
To be fair, they did this all day. It was amazing. Watching
It was,
people
and I don't blame them.
Try and juke them. Oh,
Yes,
it was fantastic.
and they were good. Now, I will say that you are correct.
Yeah.
The people guarding the tent would be, because you have to understand that's free alcohol and food. A lot of free alcohol and food.
Well, not free. All inclusive.
Well,
with your
all
ticket.
inclusive,
Yep.
yes. So, if you sneak through the tent, get past security, you have access to great beverages and great food and live music and a heated tent.
Oh, this is
so
amazing.
When it's about
Okay, so
100,000 people,
so
you can
I'm
understand
security.
why they're
I'm
so
security.
tight about that.
You're you. I'm in the back, like Chris Denman's in the background watching this happen. I know exactly what's happening.
I'm
'Cause
okay.
I know they're
Do,
starting-
do, 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 do.
and I-
Hello,
so I go,
I'm
oh,
here.
Oh, hey, brother, step back. You got a ticket?
I'm on the sign. I'm
Travis
I'm
very
on the
slowly
sign.
reacted, and he goes, "That's me."
So I had to point at my picture. To which then the security guard was so nice. He shook my hand, and that moment, well, now I recognize he looks like Marshawn Lynch, and I was like, well, shoot. Now I may have come off like an ass. I can't flip it and say, hey, dude, you like Marshawn Lynch, because that'd be double ass. So I decided, why, thank you, sir. It is a pleasure to be here. And I walked my ass right back into the
Wait. You did you point to the thing?
I
He
did.
did. He
That's
did. He
kind
did a
of
little
like.
Is that kind of a douchey thing? Like,
No,
you
no,
know
no.
who I
Wait,
am?
hold on.
Did I hit douche meter on that one?
It's close to being a. Do you know who I am?
It was kind of a do you know, but it was the question was being asked, who are you?
And
so
he
I
didn't
have
know.
to go,
And he didn't know.
and he didn't know, and I don't know how to answer that outside.
I can't
of,
believe he doesn't follow your locked Twitter account.
And I'm glad he stopped me because I don't blame him whatsoever for not recognizing me. But in that moment, how often will you get a chance to actually point to a billboard size photo of yourself
5 feet to the right, man.
and literally go, wait, I'm literally the face on outside of the building. You have to let me in. So that never would have happened again in my life, only in that moment. So I had to do the, look at the poster. Look at me.
When these
look at the
things-
poster. Look at me.
When these things happen, do you think I show up ahead of time and choreograph these things? If I were you, I would think that. Because
would've-
I've witnessed too many things like this happen, and it could not make me more entertained and happy.
Well, here's the thing about that banner now is that I think I'm a part of some weird Reddit group because I saw about
Truman Show
4 large groups of high school frat boys taking pictures in front of the poster of my face and them in front of it. So there's
you
probably
sure they weren't just waiting in line for the giant statues? that people
Nope, they
taking
were.
photos of?
They were. I was certain as I left the tent, they were a large group of frat white boys taking pictures in front of my photos. So I'm a part of some group. That or MAGA has officially decided that I'm now on the list. So if that's the case, hello. Please subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Good times though. Had a great
did.
fun in this weekend. It was, for the most part, everyone seemed to be well behaved. I read briefly that the arrests were at an all-time low.
I
So
believe
that's
it. I
cool
didn't
to believe.
see. I didn't see any aggressive behavior
I
at
didn't
all.
see any fights. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the weather. And I think a lot of it has to do with people have been, this winter's been tough. A lot of people be stuck inside the house with the kids, unable to leave because the weather and the roads have been so treacherous. And so for people to actually get out and have a couple beverages with their friends, people who've come in from way out of town to enjoy that type of weekend, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
We got to have this fun because of our friend Tom Bannister. He's a realtor at Circa Properties. We handed out a bunch of his stickers. Thanks
Oh,
to
did we
Adam
ever?
Bertles for the new logo.
Oh, look at that logo. Look
Badass,
at
yeah.
them. He's like
well, that's not the
he's
new.
like
this is
human,
Bitmoji.
but he's a cartoon in a human world.
So Tom Bannister, you should work with him because he spent his life in St. Louis building an extensive background in sales and client relationships. He is here to help you with your real estate needs. It's not going to be frozen forever, despite Travis's claims. He'll make selling your home or purchasing a new home as easy as possible. Wonderful guy, wonderful, wonderful connections that can help you. Tom Bannister, realtor at Circa Properties. Tom.Bannister at circastl.com. Text him, call him at 314-393-5386. That's Tom Bannister of Circa Properties. He will help you through the home buying process. Cannot say enough good things about him. He grew up in South St. Louis. He played basketball at a varsity level in high school.
God.
He's an important gentleman. Give it up for Tom Bannister. He was a great sponsor at Mardi Gras this weekend, and we're working with him for a while. So if you're looking for a new home, support us by supporting Tom Bannister from Circa Properties.
One of the other cool things that took place this weekend, Gardner.
At Mardi Gras? Or what?
Oh, at Mardi Gras, and this
I was
happened
like,
to
don't
my
you transition off this.
This is my good friend Chris Denman, and one thing that we love doing when we do these type of events is, of course, the people watching, and no better place to watch people than Mardi Gras.
Right.
What happened though took me by surprise. We had some, again, great crowd inside the tent, but we also had a lot of tall white men come inside of our tent. We're talking 6'6", 6'7", 6'8".
I think there was a part of a basketball team in our tent.
If you want to see fear in a man's eyes, jealousy
Yeah.
in
Opportunity.
a man's eyes,
He just doesn't have a competitive spirit. So I see
Oh,
somebody that
boy.
looks like they could dunk on most people, and I'm like, I wonder if I could body him up.
Chris Denman all day long This tall kid, he had to be 6'8". He towered over Denman.
He might have been 6'9" or 10.
He towered. I'm talking every time he walked in the room, every hick country white girl within a 50-mile radius absolutely just soaked. Soaked.
Had the sisters noticing too.
Oh, the sisters was even like, damn, maybe I can make a little Jon Snow. Maybe I can sit up here and make a little Liam Hemsworth. That's what they probably was thinking.
He had dance moves too.
And
he did
Chris
the Cupid shuffle
Denman,
like no other.
The anger, the fear, the jealousy, the spite in his eyes every time he walked by. And the guy, it felt like he was rubbing it in his face.
How would you rate his acting skills right now?
Oh, that guy is probably easily.
No.
Oh, me?
Gardner to Travis.
To my acting? I'm not acting at all. Chris Denman in that moment.
Six.
I was going to say like this. He was. Just
I see anxiety of his own being projected out. But I just wanted to get an in-game analysis. Sorry. Continue with this very true story.
It was very true. Chris was sitting back and he was just biting the edge of his cup. He was like, he's tall. I bet you can catch an alley-oop without jumping. And he was just so visibly upset. You know that look he gets in his eye.
Was the guy good looking too?
The guy was he had all his hair, had all his teeth. He had nice clothes on. He was properly dressed.
If he was not a current...
He had all his clothes on?
He had all the clothes on.
If he was not a current college basketball player, well then he missed his calling.
But he was so tall. And
so he was younger too.
And he was younger. And he was in shape. That was a crazier thing.
He was
like, he was tall and in shape. And like Chris was like, I remember maybe back in 2008, I was getting hit in the head by some Mizzou wrestler.
Wait, so tall, good looking, white?
Yes.
Man, you must have been jealous, Travis.
Oh yeah, let's not even get into his black friend that was in shape and 6'4". Oh man,
that was
Were you jealous of that guy?
Wasn't jealous of him, but he sure was like, damn, look, okay, I look at me, I'm fit. Okay, I get it. You can,
how tall? 6'4"?
At least
got you by a couple inches there, huh?
I mean,
4.
He probably had on some tall sneakers. That's probably what it was. I ain't tripping off that. Shoot, I mean, sure.
Really?
Like, had maybe 4% body fat, but whatever.
That's pretty good.
If you like that kind of thing. Like, oh, look at him. He's going to live long. He's going to live past 45. I guess if you're into that thing.
Yeah, who wants to do that? That's fair.
It's kind of gross. But the dude was tall. Son of a bitch.
So the theme was jealousy for you two this year at Mardi Gras.
Gin blossoms, man.
Reality just starts to set in. You're just like, man, I can't disappoint their daddy anymore. That's just not my move. So I think of something else.
Overall, a great time. My favorite, though, was seeing the spiral. Used to be people would just be drunk, stumbling around, like spilling their drinks. Now everyone is so engulfed in their smartphone and super hammered. You get oh boy, that helicopter might be spinning out of control and falling. I don't know how I didn't see. I saw some people eat it, not face first, but fall back. Immediately, people helped him up.
I've fallen down face first before.
I believe it. I was
looked
really
like Phantom of the Opera afterwards. It was bad.
Really surprised there weren't several plastic surgeries set up because the way people were helicoptering, like whoa.
What did you see more of? Did you see more of?
I have a friend who gets, like, when he gets drunk, he gets drunk, and he gets the steps are going, and you're like, it's like, how are you still
Gregory
up?
Hines comes out of it.
Yes, exactly. And then there's like several points in the night where you're like, okay, that's it, he's going down, and he somehow saves it. And it's like what? Like, it's like he just landed a triple axle or something and figures, like, how did you do that?
It's like
how are you up? Like, I just saw you going over, and somehow your body, it was like a ghost pushed you back the other way somehow.
It's like the final minute of Inception. Is it going to fall? Did it fall? I think it stood up. I don't know. That's what it was like this weekend. But now, did you see more of men stumbling or women having loud, angry conversations via speakerphone to one of their friends because she's lost and the Uber is here and they're trying to head back to Timmy's place 3 blocks away from Sula? How many of those did you hear? Because on my way, I was in the thick of it all the way to the end of it.
Yeah.
I was down on Soulard all the way until they started basically cleaning things up. So I was able to see the whole thing, and I saw so many conversations.
And you were sober?
I was sober-ish.
Did you have any alcohol?
There was alcohol in my system.
Okay.
Would you have 1 drink?
I had 2, actually. Oh, bad boy.
Over a 7-hour span.
Oh, boy.
Look at this guy.
But then, like, there was the moment where you can tell everybody's trying to get to a location so they can all leave. The weather's the temperature's starting to drop, and you heard, Kara, we sit outside of Phillips 66. Where are you? How are you back at Timmy's? So it was a lot of that, and then a lot, bitch. It was a lot of though, a lot of people being called bitches at the end of the night via speakerphone. So that was intense. I did see one guy on my way to my Uber did indeed stumble and fall in front of me.
Yeah.
And I did the Allen Iverson over Tyronn Lue in the NBA Finals when the Sixers
stepped
took game
over
one. I stepped over him, and it felt good. I see why Iverson did it. Like the guy had crossed
the guy
himself
white?
up. Oh, no doubt. If it was a brother, I
stepped
clearly
over
would have
a white
helped him.
guy.
Oh man, it felt like this will give us another seat in the Senate. That's what it felt like when I stepped over that white man.
It felt like you extended Black History Month by a day.
It felt like I was like, oh, you made fun of Obama's tan suit? Well, boom. This is for that.
That's good.
This is for that.
You can have that one.
Thank you. And the police, they were so kind. Like when they saw me, like they didn't immediately run towards me, and that felt good. Don't know if they had been drinking, but that felt good to be able to walk through a crowd of people, especially a lot of white people, and not have police officers single me out and beat the hell out of me. That is the progress
How many
we
times
talk
have you been
about.
beaten?
Yeah,
by
you've
the
never been
police?
beaten.
Have I been beaten
You're
by
almost
a cop?
you're almost 40, and that's never happened.
A cop has looked at me mean several times. Like,
Well, whenever
You
you're
get a technical for that?
when
Well,
you're
I mean,
when
come
you're
on.
holding a joint and a sign that says "suck it, pig."
Oh,
I mean,
well,
that's
well,
something. Wouldn't you be mad if you were him?
I mean, if you got to be so sensitive about it. I mean, it's just a sign and a blunt. Relax. Everybody does it.
Comments from the Facebook live stream, Kangles, and he's right. Chris ain't bodying anything but a box of donuts. It's fair. I'm trying to think. I was reminded how quickly ladies will be very sharp-tongued and or just rude.
When it comes to
Dudes, there's always a threat of violence, whether it's implied or there's something there where it's like, I don't know, if I run into this guy, like it could result in some kind of physical altercation. Like that's in our DNA to a degree.
Absolutely.
The ladies, boy, they are, they're ready. They are on the offensive. And even just navigating.
What do you mean?
I
In what
saw that
regard? What do
quite
you
a
mean
bit.
by example? Because I feel like you're generalizing women here. We're about
I'm
female empowerment.
I'm generalizing what I saw at Mardi Gras. So it's a specific group of folks who happen to not have penises, to my knowledge, that were a little more pointed with their. They weren't really requests; they were demands. Give me that bag. Get out of my way. What's this? A lot
So
of that.
white womening. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like
So
women,
now you're
a white
generalizing.
woman
Now
on
you're
a
generalizing.
Tuesday afternoon. That's what it
Okay.
sounds like to me.
That was something I noticed. But again, overall, easy, fun event.
It was
a good time.
And we emphasize that because generally these events can get to a point where you're like, oh yeah, this is absolutely episode 1 of Walking Dead. This is exactly how it starts. But fortunately, again, it was reported by the St. Louis Police Department. They said they had they're one of some of their fewest arrests they've ever made during Mardi Gras, and I think that's because everyone's at the point where, look, I'm out with my friends. We're trying to get hammered. It's been -7 degrees the last
Just don't
month. We
punch
just wanna
someone in
get
the
outside
face or do something. If somebody tells you to get off of a bar that you're dancing on, just get down.
If you've ever been incredibly drunk and or high, coming down from that, the last place you want to be is inside of a drunk tank.
Can you imagine? What's your best drunk tank story, Gardner?
Oh boy, how much time do we have?
Well,
with
it's
that?
probably when I met Lil What.
Lil What that was. You did meet Lil What.
He was.
Guys are
with-
still friends to this day. How cool is that?
No, I wish I.
New
I
album
could've,
dropping
kinda
on
like to figure out
SoundCloud
what
next
happened.
week.
Apparently, he was a gang member. He nicknamed me White Boy
Oh,
while I was in jail
very-
for about 28 hours.
very descriptive.
Started in the jail off of MLK. Ended up at the Justice Center downtown.
Oh, geez, you don't want to be there.
No.
I mean, so
I
I've
didn't
heard.
think he was going
I
to go
read
into
Well,
that
you
much
know,
detail.
we really don't want to be at the workhouse. They probably should
Definitely
just
don't.
tear that
They
piece of
probably-
crap
and I
down.
think, yeah, that's
Modern
day slavery. Almost.
But that was also it was in a cell. It was kind of a few people in there, and it was about 2:30 in the morning, and they brought the prostitutes they had picked
Oh,
up
dear.
through.
Oh, boy.
So a kind of parade of prostitutes comes by.
Oh, no.
And one of the guys in the cell with me goes around to where the bathroom is and started masturbating.
That's not nice.
When they brought the prostitutes through, So there was that.
So
I traded my bologna sandwich for a bag of chips because I didn't like the crust on my
you got to
bologna
be careful about
sandwich.
trading that sandwich because that's probably the only sandwich you're going to get for the next 8 hours.
Yeah, that's true. And don't act tough. I don't need your food. You need their
No,
food.
there was like
You need the food.
there was a white boy in there with me.
No, boy. Were you guys looking at each
Travis
Yeah,
has
like-
Travis has you saying white
he,
boy now.
he had gelled hair and shiny
Ooh,
shoes.
yeah, he
and
definitely
you
a
could
white
tell he
boy.
was out doing whatever.
Look at me. I
And
had.
he would not stop talking while we were in the
Four
song. I'm like, what the
mimosas.
hell are you doing, man?
Right.
You just sit in here and shut the hell up.
This is
Yeah.
a ride
and
it
don't
out
spoke
situation.
until you're spoken to.
That's right.
And I could tell people were getting agitated with him. And
they look to you
They
to
look
guide
like,
them.
hey,
look-
manage
yeah,
this,
they did. Lil
white
Walt,
man.
Lil
You-
Walt looked at me at one point and was like, "He's not with you, is he, white boy?"
Oh,
and I'm like,
what?
and I go,
Fair question.
and I was like, "He ain't with me."
No, nice.
said
Throw,
with
And I
throw
just
a
kept-
white man under the
you
bus
keep
right
your
away. You got
words
to do
short. You don't elaborate a lot.
you don't. Keep
you
it to
just
yourself.
you sit there with your own thoughts. Terrible. So, but that's what you're left with when you're in that position. But don't be talking to people.
And you definitely don't
You-
taunt the cops on your way in. Like
I
don't,
actually-
don't if you're like a white man, a college student at some point, maybe in your mid-20s in a college town, and you decide to look at an officer and he looks at your knuckles and is like, oh, you like to beat things up, and then you look at that officer and be like, you want to come on down to the gym? Like, don't physically threaten a police officer.
That's probably
not
good.
naming any names or a particular host of a podcast that's currently live on Facebook, but don't challenge a police officer to physical violence.
Oh, that's probably
is my early suggestion.
good idea.
That's just me randomly coming up with a
I
story
was
that I can't recall,
interested
throwing it out there
in his
for everyone to
physical
consume.
fitness and protection.
You challenged.
I
an
didn't
officer.
challenge.
You.
I was goaded into a reaction.
Yeah.
Been watching that Garrigus podcast.
He was goaded into.
Right. I may have had a shaved head at the time. I probably had bruised cheeks.
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of training.
Some of the best shape of
so
your
I was
life.
in great shape, and I happened to be about 8 inches taller than this
Oh
officer.
boy! Oh boy!
And
See how
I
more
had-
the story starts to filter out.
There's a thing that commonly referred to as boxing fractures or something if you're doing a lot of training. And my stupid ass would walk around, and I would just have swollen hands at times. It wasn't from anything bad or stupid. It was literally just from hitting canvas a lot. And I had a shaved head and looked like I was probably part of some movement Travis would not
I
appreciate.
would not.
So I was in, and Mr. Officer, who ended up being wrong, by the way, if that helps.
That's what matters.
Ended up being wrong. Tried to kind of bait me into some. He said, "What'd you get mad? Punch a wall? The hand's a little swollen there." I was like, "No, we train up the street. Maybe you should come in Monday."
You threatened the life of a police
I
officer.
didn't.
There's only one host who's
I
done that
didn't
on this
do that.
show.
I didn't.
And it ain't the black one.
I kindly put out an olive branch to say, "Hey, come get your physical fitness right," because I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at you, and without your Batman belt, I don't know that you could contain me.
Oh, doctor. He's a Batman belt. Damn.
And I politely just did everything he said after that. But he was kindly invited to a gym.
Invited
Travis,
to a gym.
is that white privilege?
Oh, that is white privilege. To the max.
I didn't say anything threatening or rude. I said it's from training. You should join us.
Translation: bring your bitch ass on down to the gym and let me work your ass over for an hour. Wow. So
Yeah.
that's how,
Yeah,
that
hang
is
on,
how
hang on.
you get
You mean-
around threatening a police officer.
It wasn't
Hey,
threatening.
come on down to my gym where we physically have altercations for an hour. You should sign up.
I was more
specifically with me.
I was more thinking he would do it, and I would do it. And I would let my English buddy, who could just like touch people's chin and knock people out. I was like, he's more your size. Why don't you go with
He's
him?
willing to put his friend here on a green card at risk.
Yeah.
Just so
No,
Chris-
it would be sparring. It'd be like you can't go to jail for inviting someone.
Look at that! Look at that! He has already worked out the legalese. He's like, I'm almost
It would- you
certain
can't
the law
go to
would put me in
jail
jail
for
for
inviting
that.
someone over and then having your friend kick their ass.
You
No,
can't
no,
go
no.
to jail for that.
It would have been rude because I don't think we were would be in the same weight class or size or anything. So I
Oh.
was like, here, go with the
A gentleman
go with the
fighter.
little-
Yes.
So listen, if you invite an officer who is purposely trying to get a rise out of you and ends up being legally wrong at the time, maybe you invite them to your Zumba class, and when they show up, that's not illegal.
Oh boy.
It's a physical fitness thing. I was worried about his health, and I wanted to
Yeah, because that's
I
normally what
wanted to
happens.
coordinate.
You know what? You had
Knowledge.
me until you did the sniff. That was it.
Yeah,
That's a Jeff
that's
Fisher
a
move.
tell. That
That's
is
a Jeff Fisher
It
move.
was
That
actually
is.
igniting anger in my brain, and I was like,
Yeah.
Start doing
Once
the
you go to the
now stuff
sniff, you got to stop because you're going to start losing it. At that
Hello,
point.
officer. I would like to invite you to my spin class. If you have time between the hours of 9 and
Hey,
11,
it basically-
between Tuesday and Thursday, I would like to have a spin session.
pretty
with
sure
you.
I had a key, which I was like, I have a key.
Oh boy.
I can see it going like this, and I'm going to incorporate the sniff with it. Yeah, why don't you come over to my gym?
Yes. There it is. There it is.
You know what would have been the ultimate with that is he just didn't look like he was much, and then he does show up and then works me over in front of all my friends.
Yes.
Too. That's what would have probably.
And then he
happened.
goes, "Put the handcuffs on yourself, bitch."
Yes, sir.
That'd have been. That would have
What are you
been
doing?
good.
Lethal Weapon
Yeah,
5
really,
here? What are you doing here?
I'm just throwing in my one-liners
Well, it's like-
because Chris threatened the life of a white police officer in Colombia less than 10 years ago.
Not threatening a life. It would have been a quick tap out and be like, so.
Holy hell! He's already orchestrating the move he would have performed on said officer.
You got to have a
Listen-
strategy,
He
Drew.
would've-
Listen to the
he
white
would've- he
privilege
would've-
come
listen,
through your
listen.
speakers, boys and girls.
I was like, oh, this little guy, he's going to come in blazing. He's going to get one jab. I'm going to grab one of his feet, be on top of him, and have him arm locked in like 3 seconds. So
This is fascinating.
Uh,
a live look inside of America's white privilege here on We Are Live.
the text line, if you ever want to be part of that, 314-669-1431. It is an anonymous text line from the Galesburg conductor. It's great to hear from him. We do have a text. May I read it?
Yes, please.
Choo choo. Glad you guys are back on. So old Sugarfoot, was this a hawk attack this morning? It's the Galesburg conductor.
It was boy, it was big. It was like, woo, doggy. I
Did
was
it-
like, that can't be
I'll
a
save
hawk.
you here. Did anyone fornicate at your event? Because that would be effing intense.
Not that
Effing intense.
I
Get it?
That's a classic.
Intense.
That's good.
effing
You know what? I saw some awkward, deep makeouts happening where the girl's sitting on the guy's lap, not so secure. Like, whoa, one
was a
spin.
lot of wobbling.
I saw that, but like, you see that at a restaurant sometimes. Like that wasn't, other than just the feeling super old and seeing the wobbly helicopter people. It was pretty contained. I will say this. I'll make a social observation. You're either in college to 25 maybe and just, whoa, here we go. Or you're on your second divorce and it's time to let it out. There's no in between. The standard 30 to 35-year-olds, fewer there, but it's mostly super young or second divorce, and I'm letting it hang out.
Can we at least acknowledge that Mardi Gras has become the Super Bowl for divorcees? Like that's
Yeah.
the play where you get. That's how you get back in the game.
Did
Mardi
you
Gras,
feel like
because
you could have become a
everything's
kept man?
Oh, absolutely. There were several opportunities, and again,
Frontenac comes to Soulard.
it does. And folks who are just looking to get drunk, and
Chesterfield, you
honestly,
get some Chesterfield County there?
put it this way: there are a lot of married women from the West County area looking for young stallions during Mardi Gras. And the men are the same way. They're looking for a nice
Maybe we're
junior
wasting
at
all this-
SLU or WashU, and they're looking for
Yeah.
look, you need your books paid for this semester. Let's holler at each other. Like there are a lot of mistresses arranged during Mardi Gras this weekend. There's no doubt about it. And salute to you. What a way to get. I'm glad people are going out into like open markets now instead of using these web apps. No, I'm glad people are like, hey, I'm married with the child. Let's have sex in that porta potty on 8th Street.
I'll say
and
this.
people do, and that's good for America.
Maybe it was just the magic of the Cruzan rum light up bottle hanging. Maybe it was the 1860s folks that did so good putting it together. It was very well ran. The music was great. But there were many opportunities for adult meeting opportunities, if I may say so.
There were.
were. And people were in good spirits.
Yes.
They were curious of the
Yes.
other people around them.
Yes.
I was saying that if I was like, if somebody was in here trying to meet somebody, a private tent is a good place to do it.
It was smart play. It was well done by everybody, and everyone who took the time in that weather to have sex with strangers. Good on you.
Do you think we're misusing the
you.
video equipment that we have? Like we should have had some kind of a studio set up to be
There
like,
was thought, but here's
amateur
the thing.
Soulard after meetups.
And look,
please be sober.
The only thing about that, there is a small fear to that because, again, everyone lets it go during Mardi Gras was having video footage of it. and there
Oh,
would
you're
have
not
been
even
a
getting
lot
into
of
the
phone
business
calls we would
cameras,
have
yeah.
this
Right.
morning. Yeah,
I'm not a capture people doing stupid in public things on my video guy, on my phone video guy. I for sure whipped out the camera and
we still
videoed
have-
like 3 people.
Do we still have the Solar cam available? Is that not available
No.
anymore?
The
We had
porch
live
put it
feed,
down.
Porch full.
Yeah.
One
I
more
walked
question.
past and I did a dance in front of it, and I hope it was recorded.
Very nice.
What kind of dance did you do?
I could barely recall. I was just over on that side, and I was like, I
Okay.
think there's a camera over here. And
You had mentioned the weather. I wanted to get into a couple things before we take a break.
I have a
Okay.
question too. Is this Mardi Gras related?
It is not Mardi Gras related.
If I
so
may,
go with
before
that,
we move
yes.
on, does the police coming out and saying, hey, not too bad, and us seeing firsthand, does that damage our credibility as the number 2 Mardi Gras celebration in the country, or does it make it where Vegas became more family friendly and it actually helped economically? Are we losing? Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
It's the best thing because I think
So we
this-
are not The Departed airing on TBS with half the movie cut out for censoring.
Look, man, any day where there's more than 150,000 people in a 10-block radius and few people are arrested
400,000.
over the entire downtown metro, St. Louis, South Side area, and you have a minimum, I believe, of less than 20 arrests, this city needs those kind of small
I think you would have
victories.
arrested 20 people, 40 people on a regular day.
I mean, on a regular day, you probably would have arrested 40 people from one restaurant or one tent. So that's good. I think, like, in a funny way, yeah, we're going to make fun of it because it's like, is your party really cool if only 20 people got arrested? For St. Louis, we take them how we
I'll
can
take
get
it,
it.
yeah.
We'll take whatever card
Yeah.
is dealt,
Yeah.
and that's a positive.
It
thing.
was scary. I'll say, as somebody who doesn't really worry about that, I remember being 19 and maybe it
a
was
lot
my
of
first
people.
18 or
It's a
19.
lot of people,
popping in, and it was boobs, beads, roving fight, boobs, roving fight, street fight, trash, vomit, roving fight, boobs.
And then sometimes it'd be roving boobs that are fighting.
Correct.
So it
Man,
would
that's
be
an interesting one.
Exactly.
Got a lot of attention when that was
Oh
happening.
boy, did it ever.
Well, and I don't know what the weather, what impact that had on, maybe keeping people in line some, because maybe you're not going to urinate as much in public when it's cold out,
Very true.
stuff like that. 'Cause
And
I
there
don't-
really
I don't-
shouldn't be places like they do such a great job at this event of making sure they know the basics.
Have
They
I-
know you idiots are going to need toilets.
Yeah.
And it's literally a
all-
toilet every 15 feet.
It's all logistics and planning.
Yeah.
1860
Brilliantly
Volkswagen.
done.
Boom. I've told you guys about my friend who drove off with the golf cart, right? Because
Yes.
of the keys that were all the same.
Oh dear.
So there was nothing. I think of that now because he had the E-Z-GO key that worked on every E-Z-GO golf cart ever.
Right.
And then it turned out being an off-duty police officer's
Oh,
private
dear.
golf cart,
Oh,
and we
boy.
had
With
it
you and the
gone
police.
Oh, boy.
for
Both of
4+ hours.
What about I didn't even do anything. He the one threatened the lives of officers and no people who stealing police cars.
I heard things you said.
What?
Okay, just wanted to make sure. That guy's a legend, by the way, who did that. Returned it.
And he's alive.
Peacefully,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
Is that white privilege?
he stole a
How do you
police
know he was
officer's
white?
freaking
Is he
cart.
from Farmington?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's black folks in Farmington.
What are we doing
What's the
here?
percentage?
2.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Not percentage, actual
That's
people.
the actual number. Hey, Larry. Hey, Luther. And the census is complete. Done and done.
I wanted
Hey,
to-
man.
Jesus.
I wanted to bring.
He literally just said, 2?
I wanted to make
2%
sure,
of the total population.
Yes, 2.
It is. More now. I bet it's like 4.
but I was wondering about the.
Still, are you talking?
What happened?
Impressive. Luther and,
yeah.
and
The
Lamont
spin is
got
the African American population has doubled in Farmington.
Ooh.
Farmington, Missouri.
I
You should try it.
was wondering about the weather too, because I want to make sure that I make this clear to local TV
Oh,
stations
boy.
My
here we
stomach
go.
hurts from laughing so much.
that I am available for freelance producing one particular segment about potholes.
Oh,
We can get
boy.
you on at the 9 network.
Ooh, maybe we could. I don't know. if
Community
I-
introspective.
Chris Davis, you can have this. Casey Nolan, you can have this. I tweeted yesterday. Martin Kilcoyne responded as well. His mother's upset. She's gotten a couple flat tires apparently from potholes.
They're bad.
And she's wondering why he hasn't done a TKO, the Kilcoyne opinion, on potholes.
God.
So basically what I was
Local
thinking,
News radio.
and we had
MTV.
talked about it a little with Chris last week, but I developed it and narrowed it down to the idea. It's basically finding the worst pothole in St. Louis.
Okay.
I have a submission.
Like
by the way.
submit take pictures, put in your submission. It's like an ugly dog contest. And so you get all this, you can get interactive with it as well. You're putting pictures up on screen, just have it go a couple days. And the embarrassment of putting these up there, they're going to get filled pretty quickly as well. Because I know we had some exchanges
Does
on
Domino's
social
have
media.
the budget for that?
I don't know. That's a...
We'll work their ass.
Domino's
Show
if
them the
Domi-
Compton Bridge and say, Domino's, get your ass here right
if
here.
the Domino's truck
God help us.
shows up to fill up potholes in your city, that is a shame cone for your city.
Yeah, we deserve it.
No,
we deserve it.
I think, Chris.
Well, the Compton Bridge, they did fill in like a week and a half ago.
So they had.
But-
I looked into it. They have to do pre-fixing before they can start fixing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, and so, but I think also with that one, there was just something that had to be done right away.
I drove through it. You couldn't
Yeah,
avoid.
I drove through it, and it was shot like you could not dodge them. You were just riding through it, and you grip the steering wheel, and you just kind of vibrate, and you're like, hold on, Jess. That's what I'm kind of doing as we went through it.
Great Scott, Marty.
So it was, and like Chris even said, they did a story on that one. I wouldn't be surprised if they did the story on, and then all of a sudden some of those get filled in. That's how that kind of works.
Yeah.
But I found one on Forest Park Parkway yesterday that was deep. It was deep and sneaky. It was like hidden
makes it
behind
sneaky?
It was hidden like behind a seam in the concrete, so you didn't necessarily see it right away.
you see it, so
and
by
then
the
you're
time
up
you're
on
on
it,
it and it's too late.
bam. And so it was longer, and it wasn't. It just you didn't have a good view of it, so it hid itself and disguised itself well. It was kind of stealthy.
Can we blame any of this on global warming?
That's a hoax,
This is,
Travis. So I wanted to pitch that idea to make sure I got it across to the local TV news people. It also allowed me to bring up another story I wanted to touch on with you guys.
Yeah.
This is a national story,
Okay.
kind of coming out of Oregon. But
several folks commenting that Domino's should step up. for
Domino's?
us. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
how much pizza do we have to order to get them? To
We
send,
don't.
Like
We just
20
need
trucks?
to show them what we got here.
Okay.
Been laying off the pizza, but if you're ordering pizza, that Domino's app.
Just got a tracker, man. You can be like, oh my god.
Now, we've had
Sandy's
bad
making
weather.
My pizza.
Bad weather here, Travis.
Right.
But did you see the guy who likes to go off-roading in Oregon? And they
did
have had a
not.
lot of snow going on up there. He likes to go off-roading, and he did so in his vehicle or whatever,
Okay.
and had his dog with him, and gets stuck, and ends up getting stuck for 5 days.
Excuse me
tried
now.
to hike out, but the snow was too deep, so he went back to the car.
Okay.
Stayed in the car with his dog. He would turn the engine on from time to time.
Right. A little warm.
to warm it up. And eventually a snowmobiler came by and saw him, and they ended up saving the guy.
Eventually, a snowmobiler
Yeah.
came.
It was 5 days later. But
He did the move that bears do. He had only eaten one leg off of his dog. So far, he was still alive.
Delicious
He
dog.
didn't eat the dog. He survived on hot sauce packets from Taco Bell.
Oh,
Fire sauce.
No.
What do you think of that?
Oh no. Well, that's a commercial.
That seems like you could do that. I think you could survive on Taco Bell sauce packets for 5 days.
Does it? I mean, would mild not have gotten the job done?
Fire's the best.
I think fire's more nutrients.
Fire has a little more like hold to it. The other ones are a little too juicier, like even hot. But if you get to fire, then, it's got a little more substance to it.
What'd the dog eat?
My question is, do we honestly
Good
believe?
point.
Do we believe that's all he ate? Like, I feel like sometimes
Yeah,
in
right.
these stories,
Yeah.
you have to just go with the most extreme. I feel like he had
It's like, dude, there were 3 Nutri-Grain bars in the back of that thing that have been sitting there for
Earl,
6
there were
months.
4 hot pocket boxes I see in the trunk of your car.
How did you gain weight while you were trapped in 5 days?
Didn't that happen to a guy who was like lost on a raft for like 30 days? It was
Probably.
like,
It's like,
Dude came back.
wait,
dude, we found
where'd you get this tuxedo?
We
Gained
found
15 pounds.
We found 7 domestic cattle slaughtered near your place.
No.
Like a farmer was complaining. You could see his house from where you were at. What's going on?
The chupacabra.
Dude, is it?
Oh, those coyotes. That's why we got to build that wall.
Dude,
you
are
know?
those fajitas?
I don't
What
know
the
that you were
hell?
so much trapped as that you were trying to get away from your wife for a week. What's
Come
happening
on, man.
here?
Dave, you ain't got a lot of
Now-
us, buddy. What happened?
This also it's not the same, or it has to do with weather or anything like that. But I was at Taco Bell last night, and I wanted to bring this up because it It's one of those moments where sitcoms impact your life and impact your decision making. And it
Often.
happened to me at a Taco Bell last night.
I haven't even asked him what his big meal of the weekend was, and Taco Bell will not be the best one. There'll be another one, but go ahead.
King and I, Thai curry chicken pasta.
Of course.
He's so rich.
That's what I went with. She just got Ethiopian that night.
Got it.
Bet you did. Uptime.
So at Taco Bell, I get the number 8, 3 tacos. End up getting a Mountain Dew.
such an adult.
Got a burrito off the power menu as well. A little chicken.
Mountain Dew, the biggest one they offer?
Yes.
Of course.
Uh,
How are you going to fall asleep without that insulin
Man,
spike?
I am trying to acquire diabetes myself, Travis.
You ain't got to pay for it?
But
Welcome to the club.
I had a moment where I placed the order. It's up there, whatever, $10, whatever cents, and
Right.
that trend now is it's not just Taco Bell. It's Walgreens, Schnucks, or whatever. They'll allow you to round up on what you're paying. Round up your change, and it goes to a charity.
Oh, right.
Got it.
So, there was a lot of that going on in Christmas season. I think Schnucks, and especially if it's like St. Jude's or
Right.
something. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Right.
So it's just an easy way to round up to the dollar or whatever on your card, and also get some charity money, I guess.
Right.
I suppose. So Taco Bell has this at the one I'm at last night, but it says the Taco Bell Foundation, and I'm like,
For wayward stoners?
what the F is the Taco Bell Foundation?
Some kid
And
whose
it
Nintendo
says
64 broke?
It says
what?
it's like for kids, and I'm like, of course it's for everything's for the kids,
Right.
And you're calling it the Taco Bell
Kids aren't all
Foundation.
nice either.
I flashed back for just I paused before I hit OK for anything, and out of nowhere I think of when George Costanza developed the Human Fund and just started handing out gift certificates. I donated money in your name to the Human Fund, and I'm like, I look at the Taco Bell thing and round up, and I just go, no.
What?
Said no, because I don't know what the hell it
You show
is.
their ass. You go.
And then I looked it up, and it actually is for kids. And
Oh,
Jess is like, "You hate
damn,
kids,"
you do
and
that.
I don't hate kids. I didn't know what it was. What do you call the Taco Bell Foundation for?
Little Johnny had to finish playing Halo without Baja Blast.
Yeah.
Your 7-cent contribution can make sure this never happens again.
So
Thank
phenomenal first segment where Chris Dimon threatens the life of a police officer and Gardner completely shits on kids.
I don't hate kids.
I love this segment. This
but
is
you should
great.
probably change the name of your foundation to make it clear as to what you're doing, and not think you're just trying to take money from them. It's
Yeah.
called the Taco Bell Foundation.
It's like, wait. Is this the thing where it turns out there's going to be another Demolition Man remake, and you just want to get enough money to have Judge Dredd? Which one was it?
It was Demolition Man.
Was it
You had
Demolition
right
Man?
the first time.
Okay,
And
Demolition
now
Man.
I'm officially behind this new fundraiser. If that's
Get
what they're
Taco
using
Bell
the
back
money
into
for.
okay, yeah. Where you're like, you
Okay.
know what? Okay, all right, we're behind it.
Okay.
That's a Taco Bell fund just to get the funding to
get a
get them
break
included
on
in
that
that one.
note. Good God.
We will take a break. It's Chris Dimon and Travis Terrell with the great Chris Gardner in studio. We're live from the Midcoast Media Studios, midcoast.media, if you want to see what we've been up to, everybody. Quick thanks again to everybody who came out, supported us, and showed us some love. Thanks to Jack for those great bags. 1860s for having us. Tom Bannister, Getaway Golf Carts, Bud Light, Cruzan Rum, all the greats that were involved.
Yum,
with
yum,
our
doodle dum, Chris.
Wonderful thing. Get your fair of fouls in. The topic is Imagine Dragons is a new Nickelback. Email WAL@weareliveradio.com. You can win $10 to the New York Times food truck. Nice. And then vote on Twitter @WeAreLiveRadio on the Melee poll. Quick break. We're going to let Gardner get a smoke in, get his blood level up with a Mountain Dew.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back with the rest of the show.